I take it there was a lot of kind of like input from WWE creative as such as to what you could and couldn't do then.
It was bittersweet because ICW built its brand on this over 18s, edgy, anything can happen, sort of anti-authority brand.
Yeah.
And then we're signing with the biggest professional wrestling sports entertainment company in the world, which absolutely had its benefits. You know, if I could rewind time, I would do it all again. Because without that deal, we wouldn't have been paid through COVID, and there might not be an ICW today. So personally, I'll always be grateful to WWE, Mark, Duncan for what they did. But yeah, moving forward, it's kind of about, right, what worked before that? Because admittedly, a lot of fans turned off because they thought that we were too censored. So now it's about reminding people, well, here's why we're the best over 18s professional wrestling company in the world.
Yeah, and that's funny, that's what I was going to ask as well. So I take it there was a lot of kind of like input from WWE creative as such as to what you could and couldn't do then?
I wasn't directly involved in a lot of the conversations from a creative standpoint. That is up to, you know, like Scott Reed's now, who is director of creative, Mark Dallas at the time, Duncan. But from what I heard, there were certain requirements. You know, don't do this, don't say that. It wasn't like the handcuffs weren't on as tight as people might think, but it was enough for us to notice, oh well, there's actually people turning off now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that for us is, you know, that's enough to go, we're messing with the recipe here. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's kind of
definitely.
like, and with that, there's a certain amount of trepidation on our part. I'm just trying to think back to when it was happening. Even without those, you know, black and white, don't do this, you maybe would write something and then you'd put a line through it going, I don't know if I even want to put this in there because for all we know, they won't like it. So it's not necessarily that they said no to 90% of stuff that was written, but there were certainly limitations there, and because of that, a certain amount, as I say, trepidation, because you're like, the reins are on a wee bit tighter here.
That kind of almost kind of self-censor type thing. You go, they might not like that, rather than just putting it forward.
And that's not to say, like, we probably could have pushed the boundaries a wee bit more, but just from the experience of maybe one or two things not getting through, we reined it back in because we were getting paid to provide content for the biggest, you know, sports entertainment streaming service in the world. So naturally, we were going to follow the rules at that point. But yeah, now I think it's, you know, the deal's no longer there. It's, again, similar to when Mark was here. It's about paying tribute to that history. The WWE Network deal for us was massive, opened people's eyes to ICW across the world who maybe weren't exposed to it before. But now we're going to use that popularity to build moving forward.